Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Insync Presents. On today's show, we've decided that we're gonna touch on the subject of furloughing. So what we've decided to do today is interview one of us, because one of us has actually experienced this, hence the reason why we're doing it. So obviously, one of my co-hosts, Mr. Mike Tai, how you doing, bro?
How's it going? What's up, man?
How you feeling?
It
Nervous?
feels weird.
How does it feel being on that other side of the seat? Because you did the
you don't
interview
really
last time,
notice
innit?
it when you're interviewed.
Yeah, but when you're on the hot, like when you're the one being interviewed, how does it feel?
Pressure, like this is mad. Like I'm in a surgery room. I'm about to get dissected. Hold on.
Well, all the lighting's a bit making you.
I'm a bit nervous. I can't lie to you.
Oh gosh! All right, so we're gonna go straight into the interview. As you know, obviously today we're talking about people being furloughed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'll say unfortunately, you was one of them.
Yes.
Considering the business that you was working in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you obviously tell the story.
Yeah.
Obviously, as we know, obviously because of the coronavirus, it's affected quite a lot of people.
A lot.
And a lot of people haven't actually returned back to work. A lot of people got let off work. A lot of people have lost their job. They don't know what's next and so forth. So we're going to touch in a little bit about that and how that's affected you in regards to the whole COVID-19. Obviously, now that we're out of it, we're going to touch on what's next for you as well.
Yeah.
But we're just going to start from the top.
Okay.
So let us know, how did it come about? Obviously, we know that COVID happened.
Yeah.
So how did they select who gets furloughed?
So for me, I can only talk about my situation, and obviously everyone's different. Yeah. Everyone that's gone through is different. How my story is funny because I'd left my previous company, as you guys remember. So it was like, new chapter, new start.
Exciting.
Got a new job, and I was happy there. It's something I really wanted to do, because essentially what I was doing was customer relations manager. Yeah. So essentially I dealt with a lot of disciplinary cases. So it's my way of helping people. You'll find that a lot of people don't know company guidelines and so on and so forth. So I was like the representative for staff against, I don't know, whatever sort of situations they faced. And I was enjoying it. Done a few cases.
How long was you in the job for? Because you just started, isn't it?
I just started.
Before you got furloughed, how long?
I left my previous company in December, sort of end of December, and I started a new company in January. Right, okay. And then around about March, which is when everything started to go into lockdown, the company made the decision to furlough. So it was a March evening, and I was sitting at home, minding my own business, because everyone was unsure of what's going to happen. Yeah. Nobody was knowing what's going on with their jobs. Lockdown was coming into, and people were talking about working from home. I'm in a position where I can't work from home. And I just remember receiving a call saying, Michael, as it stands, we don't know what's happening. So this is what's going to happen. We're going to put you on furlough and then make a decision within the next couple of months. And I was thinking, right, easy money, quick money, not to do anything. That's it. Yeah. Spend time with the kids. Manner. Little did I know that a couple of months after that, got another call saying, unfortunately, we're gonna have to let you go.
How many months into you being furloughed was that? So,
like I said, I got furloughed in March and then received a call in May.
Okay.
Yeah, in May, late May, saying, that they don't see how the role will fit in with the new way the company's going.
Right, okay.
Obviously tried to fight it, but I thought, why am I trying to fight to keep a job that they don't want to keep? It'd be pointless. So for me, it's like all pastures.
So is it a case of like they made that position redundant?
Redundant.
Okay.
So they were going in a new direction in terms of how they dealt with their disciplinary cases.
Okay.
And like I said, I was faced with a decision. I mean, I could have gone all the way to try and fight it, and you can't just dismiss me based on COVID and so on and so forth. But for me, I felt like, why am I fighting to? It's not even because what they could have done is moved me into a different position.
I was going to ask that. Yeah.
Equivalent.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Did they offer you like a different role?
They didn't. So I felt like personally, it was an opportunity for me to just leave. Obviously, they didn't want me in it. You know what I mean? So God had a bigger plan for me, as I always believe. When one door closes, another one opens somewhere else. So it was an opportunity for not only to focus on Insync as well, because we've been doing big things since, you know what I mean? And I've been able to put my all into it rather than split attention. But yeah, it was tough, man. It was tough financially because obviously after May there was no pay.
Of course, yeah.
And, you know, bills to pay, mortgage to pay. It's like, yo, okay, what do I do now?
I'm going to touch on the finance bit, but I think I wanted to get your first initial sort of feeling. Like, was it frustration? Was it like anger? Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of the time, because a decision has been made that literally you have no control
on my behalf, yeah.
And like you said, it's like you thought, should I fight it? But you're like, is there really any point? Like, what was your first initial sort of feeling to be like? Was it like you was frustrated, angry? What should I do next? Like, what was going through your head at the time?
Okay, so many things were. There were three main things that were, and the reason I say three and why I remember so specifically the three things is because one, it was some sort of relief. Okay, at least I know what's happening.
What's in the furlough part? When you got furloughed initially?
Are you talking about when I got furloughed initially?
Yeah, like the first initial instance. Like,
okay, so with I did not know what the hell furlough was. I didn't know what they meant. I didn't, obviously, because furlough essentially means that anybody that can't work from home, they will subsidize your pay
up to 80%. Yeah.
And then the companies to match the rest, the final 20% or whatever it may be, or whatever agreement they had.
Yeah.
So I had no clue what furlough was.
I think a lot of people did.
Yeah, when I got the call, I had to go and read about it, because they were telling me this is what's going to happen. Then what they were saying is they're going to send a link and just fill out some details and they'll do the rest.
Right.
Which is fine, easy. When I first heard it, there was a bit of fear, because it's like, as much as I was excited, like, yeah, because you always say, like, I wish I could just work, just get paid and not have to go to work.
Yeah, everyone wishes.
Yeah, like, and then for me, it's like, okay, this finally
like
happened.
True,
it's what I've been praying for. Cool, do your thing.
Yeah.
But there's that underlying fear that, what happens when this actually finishes? What happens when it's now time to go to work? And with COVID, there was also a fear of, when I get back to work, is it going to be a social distancing kind of thing? Is it going to be, all right, you're going to be like this, I'm going to be like this? Or is it going to be a thing where we're not going to be able to touch each other, we're not going to be able to speak closely? So many things were running through my mind, but at the time, I think I was just excited that I'm going to be working and I'm not going to be working, I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
Cool. When the second call came.
And this is now to tell you
that
they're not, like, they've made your position redundant,
yes.
You're no longer needed, yeah.
I think for me, like I said, I mentioned the three things. The first one was relief. Second one was, then anger came. The reason why anger came is because it was a role I really enjoyed, where I got to kind of work with a lot of staff and kind of help them in a way. The third one was a sort of, do you know what? Why am I so angry? Why am I fighting to keep something? You don't want me in it, so I'm just going to walk away. And that's one thing I've been battling with since last year. Right. And I'm talking in terms of friendships, whether it's a job, whether it's family. Yeah. If I feel like like this is forced, or any situation's forced, I'll walk away from it. Right. If I feel like you're not doing your part to kind of keep me around or anything along them lines, I'm happy to walk away from it. And I feel like that's what I've been trying to encourage people around me to do as well. Yeah. Don't force yourself to be in a situation when the other party, whether it's a person, whether it's a job, whether it's whatever it may be, is not playing their part to keep you around. Yeah. Like, take pride in yourself. You know what I mean? You're an asset. Even if the other person don't see it, remind yourself that you're an asset. And I'm an asset to any company. So
course, yeah.
I was happy to walk away from it and know and have faith that something better will come along. Yeah. Yeah. So
you felt anger?
I felt anger, I felt relief, I felt anger.
Yeah.
And then the third one was, if I was to put it into a word, it would be like peace. I was at peace. Yeah, it would be.
What do you mean by peace?
Like just at peace, knowing that, okay, this decision has been made. I'm at peace with it. Cool, no worries.
Okay. Acceptance.
Yes, acceptance, I can take that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can take that.
So you just thought, obviously the decision wasn't in your hands, so clearly this decision has been made and it's final.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like you have no other alternative but to accept it for what it is.
I wouldn't say
that's what it is?
I wouldn't say I had no other alternative, because I did have other alternatives. I mean, I could have, like I said, I could fight it. But
how could you? Because a lot of people could say the same thing.
Okay.
That probably lost their job as well.
There are different channels that you can go down, and a lot of people that have been dismissed from furlough, a lot of people don't know that you can actually fight to keep your job. So I would always say to anyone that has been furloughed and dismissed that do your research. Don't just accept it. If it is something you still want to continue with, don't just accept it. Do your research, find out what you can do, because a lot of companies are breaking laws by actually dismissing people.
Okay.
When they don't have
whilst
the right
being
to,
on furloughed?
whilst being on furloughed.
Okay.
So unless it's written in a contract somewhere, a lot of companies are not allowed to. So I would always say, do your research. I did my research and I thought, I'm not willing to fight it.
Because that's basically saying that you have to go through like an employment tribunal, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there is a channel they have to go down. There is a procedure they have to follow. And a lot of companies weren't following the procedure. So for me, it was a case of, all right, should I go down that channel?
Yeah.
But I didn't want to.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So I had the opportunity to, but I thought, I'm not going to fight to keep a job. I mean, for a lot of people, it's principle, innit?
Of course, yeah.
But for me, as I always say, I'm an asset. I'm an asset to any company.
And not a lot of people see themselves like that.
That's
the thing. Because a job is a job to people. Do you know what I mean? Like
100%.
some people, it's like, this is my job, this is my life. So it's like they've put all their all into it. They feel, like you said, some people do feel like they're an asset, but at the same time, that's their life. They've put all their time, their work ethic, you know, everything else, and just to be dismissed, just like that, you feel like it's a kick in the teeth.
Listen, whenever you go into any interview, anything you really want to be a part of, don't go in there with two hands, like begging for the position or begging for whatever it is you want. You go in there knowing that you're an asset. In order to catch me, you need to be pulling out the stops.
Definitely.
And that's the mentality that people need to be going into interviews with. I never go into an interview with my two hands out, because essentially I need to know I'm a good fit for you. You need to know that I need to know that you're a good fit for me and that I'm a good fit for you.
Yeah, it works
That's
both
what you need
ways.
to know.
Yeah,
exactly,
of
100%. So any interview I go into, I'm going into there thinking, okay, in order to get me, you need to show me something. You need to show me why this should be my new home.
Of course, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because like I said, I'll continue to say it, I'm an asset. And I believe in positive affirmations. So I keep telling myself, and the more I keep telling myself, the more I start to believe that I'm an asset. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to stay with a company that weren't fighting to keep me. Cool, see you later. Close the door, move on to the next thing. Yeah.
All right, so all of that's gone past. You got a call.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've been let off, I'll say, from the job.
Yeah.
So what after all of that, like now that you've been let off, what now going through your head in regards to obviously once, let's say, now that the lockdown has been relaxed, for example. And I know there's a lot of companies that have been restructured because of this. Yeah. So there's not a lot of jobs out there. Let's be real. So it's like, where do you start? Like in terms of potentially getting yourself back on your feet, looking for a new job. There's hardly any jobs out there.
All right, so so I've received a call now, finished the call, done my research and whatever, and then like I said, it hit me that okay, I'm not gonna fight it. Cool, that door's closed now, so I've buried that. That's done. What comes next for me is finding my purpose, finding what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Right. You know me, I'm very, I wouldn't say I'm religious, I'm more spiritual. And in the Bible it says that God will bless the works of your hands. And if these hands are being used to build somebody else's company, that person is reaping the blessings from it. Right. So if I'm going to be using these hands, I want to be reaping the blessings of what I'm building.
Doing,
Do you know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
So like I said, there was a lot more emphasis on Insync in general. You know, remember we sat down and we had a meeting and it was like, yo, how are we going to move forward? Do you know what I mean?
Because we had to restructure
Yeah,
as well.
definitely, definitely. And COVID hit a lot of people. So I started to put a lot more focus into that. And then obviously I started to work on a course in terms of software.
Okay. Like coding?
Coding.
That's okay.
Software developer.
Okay.
So I started doing that, and that's what I've been doing since.
Sure.
Just been doing it, just banging out here and there, learning what I can.
Because you've got free time now, innit?
You see
Do you
it?
know what I mean?
Doing as much as I can, and for me, it's I need to now start doing things for myself.
Okay.
As much as, I mean, I'm in a role now where I'm working for someone, but it's to bring the money in because I've got a backlog of bills in it. Like,
we'll get onto that.
I need to sort that out.
Course,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So I am in a position. I was offered a position. I was headhunted, offered a position, which I took. That was to fund, but there is a goal this time. I'm not just working for the sake of working with a 9 to 5 and you know go to work, come home. No, there's a goal. I'm trying to pump money into working on myself, pump money into Insync, and get the ball rolling for myself. Yeah.
So let's touch on the finance side, like the financial side, because I think that's probably like the biggest effect that this pandemic has had on a lot of people. I mean, luckily for me, I have to say, like, I'm in a position where I've always been working, because obviously for the company that I work with, we never actually shut down. We were needed because we were classified as key workers.
Yes, 100%.
So, but for someone like you, in terms of finance, you was made furloughed. So you had some sense of source of income, should I say. And then you got another call. Okay, now, unfortunately, you know, Mike, we have to let you go. Finance, what was your head at? What was going through your head? What did you do?
Listen, being the head of a household is not easy, bro. I'll tell you that for free. It's not easy. And it was tough. And this is me being completely honest and open. It was tough, man.
Because I mean, I know you. You know, we go way back, and you've got 2 kids. You're married. You got a mortgage, car, everything. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, finance takes a strain on any relationship anyway. Let's be honest, especially when you're in a marriage. But in this sort of climax, it's like, what impact?
Do you know what it is when you have a partner, is a female counterpart? It's being emasculated. That is the biggest fear of a man, or biggest thing you have to overcome. And although females, a lot of them don't realize they're doing it.
Of course.
Certain comments might be made, and certain actions might be made, and certain little things that normally you'd overlook because you're working, you're both working. But when you're not working, you start to take it personal and be like, is that a shot? Like you said there's a shot, could be like, what are you trying to say? What do you mean? And it starts to cause a bit of friction. But lucky for me, like, where I say I'm spiritual, luckily I am strong-willed, strong-minded enough to know that these things are not personal. But the biggest thing I had to overcome is having to call all these companies and say, yo, I'm not working, like, what's gonna happen? Some of them you'll find are quite understanding. Some of them are just like, that's not my business.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, still got to pay what you got to pay. So I was just trying to make ends meet. It was a tough situation, man. It was tough, especially the first couple of months, like May and June. It was tough. Now in July and things are starting to ease up, but there's still obviously got to be a backlog.
Of course.
Of things that need to be paid for. But yeah, man, finance. Anybody that's been furloughed and dismissed, or anyone that was dismissed because of COVID and has not been able to find a job in the meantime, they will tell you firsthand that you start thinking of, okay, how am I going to pay this? How am I going to pay that? You start thinking of how you're going to get money. You start thinking of what can I sell?
Oh wow.
certain assets I'm gonna have to sell.
Did that run through your mind as well, like
100%.
selling assets just to make ends meet?
100%. I did have savings. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean a lot of us, yeah, we'll do, but
Certain things that, you know me, I'm a luxury guy, innit?
Yeah.
And we're very similar in that technology,
yeah.
jewelry. I had to get rid of a lot of things. Certain technology I had to get rid of because I needed to raise money.
Yeah.
And finding a job at that time was not easy. There were times where I was thinking, you know what, let me just go and work in my local Morrison's, or let me just go and work in my local Tesco's. Even they were people with master degrees, people with PhDs were doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Going into Tesco, going into Morrison's looking for jobs.
Wow.
Because they just needed something to keep
To
them
tide them
afloat.
over, yeah.
Luckily, for the mortgage, you know, they gave you an opportunity to freeze for a couple
like 3
of
months,
for a couple of months,
yeah.
which was really helpful. But yeah, man, it was a case of savings were blown, jewelry being sold, technology being sold. You know what I mean, just to keep myself afloat.
Yeah, because the thing that runs through my mind, because I remember I met one of my ex-neighbours in Tesco's one time when I was doing shopping.
Yeah.
And we got talking, so that's social distancing wise. But one of his biggest fears was he was quite concerned because he got furloughed. And because he's like an older generation kind of guy, so he was thinking if they started laying people off work, potentially, although he's worked for that company for years, he might be one of those people to be let off because he's reaching the retirement age anyway.
See?
But one of his main concerns that sort of resonated with me was the fact that he was quite fearful of losing his home that he's been in for over 25 years.
Okay.
Not being able to feed his family, you know, so where do I go? Do I have to now sell my car, like you were saying? So there was a lot of fear in regards to that. But my question to you is, like, in regards to providing for your family, especially, I mean, having 2 kids,
Yeah,
you have to
100%.
feed them.
Yeah.
You know, I know they weren't going to nursery, so I'm sure you probably maybe save some money on that aspect.
Yeah.
But eating-wise, I mean, you can't go out, but I mean, just to feed and clothe your children must have been, I mean, that thought, obviously, being a father, like you said, being the head of the household, all of that must have been going through your head, surely, right?
I mean, yeah, and that's why I'm grateful for the people I have around me. Sometimes it's not even about the financial. It's about the mental side and where you are mentally, that can get you through those kind of things.
Yeah.
But with regards to how, like I said, man, assets had to get sold. The car was the biggest one, selling the car.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, that crippled, because you know having a car gives you opportunity
give
to
you
kind
the
of
flexibility and
to get to
to be
things.
able to,
Now you have to think, okay, what time is my train coming?
You go back to that bus
I
and train life.
got to figure out, okay, so I got to walk here, okay, I got to get train, okay,
Yeah.
and then, wait, do I get a bus? City mapper, everything,
Yeah.
all of that, you have to start considering all of that.
Course, yeah.
With regards to the kids, just, do you know what, there's certain fundamentals as a man, I think when God put Adam on earth, he gave him certain instructions, which was to cultivate and to work. Do you know what I mean? So there's certain instructions as a man that you need to be doing and you need to be providing before you can have a say to a female.
Of course, yeah.
And I strongly believe that.
Yeah.
Before you even bring a female into your world, you need to be able to do certain things as a man.
Yeah.
And before a female can say she's following you, you need to be able to display these things.
Of course, yeah.
Now, if you take all of that away, do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And you're not able to display those things because bringing in, and I'm not just talking about working, I'm talking about bringing in money. When you're bringing in money and when you're showing that you're a leader and when you're making certain decisions, that female sees confidence in you. That female feels like that, okay, he's able to take care of me.
Yeah.
But like I said, when you take all of that away and take all of that out and you're making decisions of another person's finance, a finance that's not yours, and you're not contributing towards certain things, then it kind of turns around and then it's the other way around, where it's a female making decisions and it's a female, and you're having to ask the female, okay, is it right if I have some money to do this, or is it right if I can, you know what I'm saying, and that dynamic for me was one of the hardest things I ever had to overcome. I've never been the kind of person to say, oh yeah, can I have some money to do this, or is it right if I, as much as I'm respectful, I mean, I never see it
kind of
as,
takes your freedom away, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. I never see it as separate income. I always see it as a joint thing.
Of course, yeah.
But like, just like I said, when God put Adam onto the earth, before God gave Adam Eve, Adam had to display certain characteristics. Adam had to prove that he is what we call in this day and age a man. And I was not able to display those things. So your manhood starts to get questioned. And certain things start to create. Sometimes it's not even intentional. Sometimes, for example, if me and you are always going out, I'm paying for my stuff, you're paying for your stuff. This is just an example now. And then, let's say I lose my job, and then
the bill falls on me.
You start saying to me, Michael, let's go out. First 2 times, you pay.
It's okay, yeah.
And then it's like, I'm start saying, oh, yeah, let's go out. Because I know that you're going to pay now.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you're paying. 3rd time, you had to pay. 4th time, you start looking at me a bit like, what's going on here? Like, why am I always paying? Like, I know you're not working.
But there must be a level of understanding, because, like...
Yeah, but think about it. Even you as my boy,
yeah,
you'll start pulling me up saying, like, are you not going to, like, start looking for work? Or because we can't be...
Okay,
we can't be always going out and I'm paying, you know what I mean?
Fair enough. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just natural. You won't realize you're doing it because it's affecting your pocket. It's affecting you.
Right, okay.
Do you know what I mean? So luckily, like I said, my psyche is strong. My mentality is strong. So I'm able to understand that you're not doing it intentionally. I'm able to understand that she's... And I've got nothing but respect for that woman, trust me. Because she was extremely understanding. She was extremely helpful. Sending me different posts, and luckily I had you guys as well that were just, don't worry, you'll find something. Even those little things.
Yeah, it's positive, isn't it?
They help. Yeah, but even if someone was to turn around and say, yeah, Michael, here's £500, I'll deny it and be like, no, don't worry about it. I'm good. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's the pride in me, innit? But when all of them things are taken away, man, it's tough.
It's hard. Yeah. All right, listen. Let's turn it on the positive side now. Yeah. How's things now? Obviously now lockdown's pretty much non-existent. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You've probably got a job now. I'm guessing, or I'm sure you've been looking for a job, right?
Yeah.
How is the job hunting going? Should I say, like,
so
do you have a job now, or?
Yeah, like I said, I got headhunted, offered a retail management position, which is going well.
Okay.
I've enjoyed
something
it.
You want to do? Or?
Like I said, previously, I was just looking for jobs that I can enjoy. Whereas now, that job is serving a purpose. That job is to fund the end goal.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I've got an end goal now.
Okay.
Insync for me, I got nothing but belief and ambition for Insync.
Yeah.
So go follow us, Instagram, Insync London. Subscribe on the YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. What am I missing? I'm missing one.
IG? YouTube.
Facebook.
Yeah?
That's it, man.
That's the one.
That's it.
Well, things are looking up.
100%. Do you know what? I'm in a much better place than I feel I've been in probably the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like...
Just a quick one, because I know we're short for time. I just basically wanted to pick your brain on this. What effect did it have on you psychologically as well and physically? Because we have to touch on that just quickly. I know we're short for time.
Okay, I know you work in mental health, so
yeah.
you know this. You know.
Because obviously I work in mental health, so I have seen firsthand what impact the pandemic, people being locked at home has had. I mean, like I've said to you guys in conversation, there was a level of increase in domestic violence, for example.
Yeah.
Not saying that applies to you, but it's just something that we noticed during this pandemic. But again, it's like there was a lot of, which has been all over the news, the mental aspects of it, the psychological aspect that it's had. Forget financials, for example. Let's put financials aside, because you can't really do much on that. But psychologically, let's be honest, like, I mean, we can go in depth, but if we could just quickly touch on that very quickly.
Bro, because we don't know if there's going to be a second wave of corona or not.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give advice rather than actually sit and talk. Because if I was to sit and talk about the things that I went through, we'd be here for time.
Yeah.
If anyone is going through job loss in general, whether it's related to COVID
Or non-related. Yeah.
Anyone that's going through a job loss or is about to be made redundant, anything along them lines, my first thing is talk about it. Do not suppress it. Do not feel like you're the only person going through this. There are plenty of people that have lost jobs. I felt like I needed to hide it for as long as possible because, oh my days, I've lost my job. People are not going to respect me, whatever. There was a whirl of emotions I was going through. Do not suppress it. Let people know what you are going through. Reason I say that, as soon as I said to everyone around me that, okay, I've lost my job, people started sending me different jobs all over the place. And that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Someone that knows someone that's recruiting and, you know, this person can send that post or this person can recommend you. People that were in certain companies were coming to me saying, oh, Michael, there's this job going. I can put your name forward.
Yeah.
And just like that, you could get a job.
Yeah.
And it's that easy. So when I say I was headhunted, it's because somebody I know that works in recruitment sent me a link and they put my name forward. And just like that, I was in a position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got that because, like you said, you was able to
talk about it. So do not suppress it. People have this thing of whenever something's happening, you feel like you're the only person going through it. You're not.
It's like a human thing though, isn't it? It's a human thing. Like
definitely.
Naturally, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Things is going wrong in our lives. We're having a negative day or whatever, and all of a sudden we think we're the only person going through it. And
definitely.
Realistically, everyone's going through it, or somebody out there other than you
100%
is going through it.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah, man.
I think it's important to surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up. Yeah. And that's why I'm ever so grateful. I'm going to have a bit of a moment here for my co-host because we have an environment where we pick each other up and we lift each other up and we have nothing but respect for each other. Yeah. And the love I have for you two, like, you don't even realize the amount of help, the amount of encouragement. Just, you know, when you're excited to be around your people because you know that it takes your mind away from everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when people do, I mean, I know everyone's doing podcasts out there, but when you have people that you enjoy being around, it's not a chore.
It just makes it easy.
I look forward to coming to do our podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, it's about surrounding yourself with the right people, and it's just talk about it, you know, and be open.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, no, listen, obviously we enjoy doing this, and this is like a new, obviously, platform for us as well. It's a new segment, so this is called Insync Presents, obviously where we do interviews mainly we do interviews, let's just put it that way, let's not try to categorize it, but yeah, we do interviews. So yeah, listen, thank you. I know this must have been hard for you to do, but I did pressure you and you did it, so I'll rate you for that. Because that's what we do. Like you said, we lift each other up and we encourage each other, we push each other for the best. That's what it is. It's, you know, we're trying to strive for the best and achieve the best. So yeah,
100%.
If you guys enjoy what you're watching, please consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. We also do a weekly podcast, which is also live on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well, so you can catch us on there. We post regular content on Instagram as well, like Michael said, on Twitter as well, and Facebook. So if you haven't already done so, consider subscribing. And yeah, we'll be back again with another Insync Presents.